Frustrating, really. I mean, it's probably a game that I think we prepared really well for, and we'll need to look back on that preparation because we prepared well for and delivered just about zero. So collectively, that was a massive cross for us. No. We had two pre-season games at home against the Crusaders and the Blues. Won both of those and played really well. The thing disappointing, I don't mind losing, but to play so poorly is incredibly frustrating. We've been planning, after we came to the Highveld and lost the semi-final to the Lions last year, we've been trying to work out both scientifically and from a game point of view, etc., to get an improved performance up here. We put a lot of effort into that and delivered a little, so that's very frustrating for all of us. Well, not really, because it doesn't really matter the subtleties of how they changed their game, and they certainly play differently than what they did last time. But what you know is that you're at altitude, you're probably going to battle physically, that they're going to come at you physically, and you've got to stay in that contest for long periods of time, otherwise it's going to be a long day at the office. And that's exactly what happened to us. We didn't control tempo, we didn't control territory, we didn't control momentum. So we put ourselves in the situations where we lost control of the game really, and ultimately paid for it. But credit to the Bulls, they had a plan. I suspect they wouldn't, they'll be delighted to win, but I suspect, knowing Mitch, he wouldn't be that happy with the way they played either.
It was just TJ's, the try that wasn't an update, just your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you could probably pick out similar tries and no tries, and you'd probably throw 20 of them up and 10 of them will be given and 10 wouldn't, so it's one of those ones where that is not the reason we lost the game. I mean, we could have, if that try had been given, we may have won the game, but at the end of the day, quite frankly, we didn't deserve to win, in my opinion.
Yeah, we expected exactly what they gave us, and we didn't step up to the challenge, and it makes it hard for our defence when you're always going backwards and give them that half break opportunity, and it seemed everything was sticking for them, and it's hard to get back on the foot and bring the heat that we do if we're on the back foot, and I think we got better in the second half, but at the same time, it's a bit too late for that. In the second half we needed to step up and we didn't.
Probably none. I can't think any part of our game that you'd sit there and say that particular part of our game we did really well. No, I can't think of any, to be honest. Yes, he didn't. We travelled over we played the Blues on Thursday at home. Travelled over and we were here for Saturday, so we came 2 days earlier than normal in preparation to try and acclimatise. Bowden had his brother's wedding at home, and so he didn't play in the Blues game, and in fact today was the first time he'd played at all for 12 or 15 weeks. So we had a yarn about that and decided that if he wanted to play in this game, which he did, then he'd come off the bench. So yeah, and Bowden Barrett's presence or absence was not the difference between us winning and losing. No, this is the last time we played at altitude this year, so we don't have to come back.
For the playoff, maybe?
Not. So we, of the African League, our second African Conference game is against the Jaguares. So we go off. They play the Lions here, and they get first choice on the plane. So we've got to stay here another day. So we're here tomorrow, and we don't leave to go to Buenos Aires until Monday, and then go home to play the Crusaders after flying around the other side of the world from Buenos Aires to home. So we knew what the task was. The first leg of that task we failed in, and I'm sure we'll get our heads together and collectively we'll work out a plan to go forward. It's the people that did it last year found it really tough. It doesn't help the fact that there's no obvious direct flight between Johannesburg and Buenos Aires, so we've got to go via Sao Paulo, and so that's it's a long process. And so for the Hurricanes, it's the first time we've had to do this. You know, and we've talked to the other franchises about it, and they've said it's tough, but at the end of the day, sometimes when life's tough, you've got to dig in and work a bit harder.